Order, I'll note that 2 of the 3 board members are present, Mr. Cannizzaro and myself. Council President Hudson is excused. We do have a quorum, so we will continue to the proof of notice, which is on the second page of the packet. And then to our minutes, which follow immediately thereafter, from our June 25th, 2024 board meeting. Is that the last time we had a board meeting? Holy cow. Okay, so I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Second?
I think that's a motion.
Motion.
I'll second it.
Motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, next up, we have 2 items of new business. So Meg, I will turn it back over to you.
Sure, the microphone's by me. Okay, so the first resolution, 3463, this is just to authorize the chair of the SURA board to execute a representation letter with Bonadio. They reached out in response to the annual SURA audit, and Commissioner Cannizzaro can probably speak to it a little bit better.
Yeah, the management representation letter, it's a standard report issued with the audit. Just, basically stating we haven't hidden any information from you. We gave you all the information that we've known about, and we've disclosed everything to the best of our ability. So again, this representation letter needs to be signed by us before the SURA audit can be issued, and then we will discuss the financial statements at the next SURA board meeting.
That was going to be my next question. Great. Okay, then I don't have any further questions. I will entertain a motion to authorize the chair of SURA, that being me, to execute a representation letter in response to the annual SURA audit.
Second?
Sorry, I read it like it was a motion, but
Motion?
yeah, I will second it. And without any further questions, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, next up, resolution number 3464, back to Meg, and I assume Commissioner Collins may have something to share as well on this.
Yes, so the next resolution has to do with approving the Syracuse Housing Strategy Implementation Urban Renewal Plan and authorizing execution of a contract with the city of Syracuse in relation to that. So Michelle is here, Commissioner Collins is here.
Hi, Michelle.
They can probably speak to this.
Yeah, either one, feel free.
Good afternoon, everyone. Michelle Spansky, Deputy Commissioner of Neighborhood Development. So this particular item, I know within your various capacities in relation to the Housing Strategies Corporation may be aware of it, but for the benefit of anybody who might be watching at home and the overall record, we'll just give kind of a brief recap of it. So in 2024, there was several significant pieces of housing-related policy and legislation that was authorized by the City Council. So the first one of those being the adoption of the Syracuse Housing Strategy, which is the framework for us to kind of address the housing affordability gap and housing market gap that we have within the city. It calls for additive new investments in relation to both of those gaps, with particular kind of activities based on existing conditions in neighborhoods. So particularly focused around revitalization work in middle neighborhoods and additional stabilization work in neighborhoods that are experiencing kind of more distressed conditions. So applicable to really all city residential neighborhoods citywide, but with those kind of delineations. So that was the first big item. Second big item was the authorization of the incorporation of the Syracuse Housing Strategies Corporation as a new city local development corporation and public authority, really charged with kind of the implementation of that plan that was adopted by the council. And then the third thing was the first city general fund allocation for the purposes of housing and the implementation of the overall plan. So to serve as seed funding for the Housing Strategies Corporation. As we are kind of going through the mechanics of working to get those contract details executed, the guidance that we've received from council at the city's level, and then also the council that we've been working with through the Syracuse Housing Strategies Corporation, is that the best way for us to kind of facilitate the execution of those city dollars to support the implementation of the plan is to leverage the powers and capabilities of SURA as an urban renewal agency. There are generally, under New York state laws, some very specific provisions that regulate what municipal funds are allowed to be used for. And I think the most notable one in this particular instance would relate to financial assistance to homeowners. So the state regulations kind of preclude the city in most circumstances from being able to issue any sort of financial assistance to a homeowner on a private residence. So within the bounds of what SURA is able to do, however, as an urban renewal agency, there's some exceptions that really align well with what the housing strategy calls for with regard to kind of rehabilitation of properties, demolition of properties. It's particularly focused on areas that are currently experiencing very blighted or distressed conditions or are at risk of becoming blighted or distressed, which for anyone who has had the opportunity to take a look at the housing strategy, that's really a critical component of the addition of the middle neighborhoods. So this particular item would effectively allow us to, number one, not only have SURA make sure that its policies and guiding documents were effectively mirroring that of the city at large and what was adopted by the council, but would also kind of facilitate the mechanics of some of those actual investments without circumventing kind of existing state provisions. From a process standpoint, the next steps kind of after the SURA board, assuming that it approves the plan as authorized, then it will go to the City Planning Commission for them to kind of affirm that it is all copacetic within the bounds of how the urban renewal plan needs to be adopted, and then we'll go on to the Common Council for them to reaffirm. But
Great, thank you. Commissioner, anything to add to that?
No, that's really the whole goal here is simply to be able to make the investment that we have all stated is important, we've committed to, while also making sure that we're staying compliant with the state constitution and related state laws.
Great. I have two questions, and then Mike, if you have anything. First question, so we're referring to this as the Syracuse Housing Strategy Implementation Urban Renewal Plan. My question is there one singular urban renewal plan for SURA, or are there multiple plans or could there be multiple plans of which this is one?
I will defer to Jean to confirm, but my understanding is that there can be multiple. And the way that I think of it is that the activities within distressed neighborhoods that are under the bounds of the existing plan are not in any way contradictory to what we're saying would be a strategy with this new plan. But this does add additional flexibility to for us to do work in middle neighborhoods. And from a geographic standpoint, I think there's also some delineations on areas where, based on the housing strategy characterization of existing neighborhood conditions, there are even some distress areas that kind of fall out of the bounds of the existing SURA boundary. So the last time that plan was amended was in 2013, shortly after the authorization of to create the Syracuse Land Bank. Right. And that boundary was adjusted to incorporate areas that at the time had a lot of tax delinquent properties. So they're complementary, but I think they can exist in tandem.
Dean, anything to add to that?
No, it is more than one urban renewal plan, and this one is, significantly more targeted and narrower in terms of the activities that can be undertaken.
Got it. Okay. Great. The other one is just confirming that it is legal and appropriate for me to sign both as chairman of SURA and as mayor of a contract.
Yes, I don't think, I guess we should probably run that by Meg or Sue, but I don't, you're acting in both official capacities.
Right. Okay. Just want to confirm. No problem doing it.
And that's my position too, Mayor. It's certainly, this wouldn't be the first time that this instance has come up.
Okay.
Commissioner Collins, as contracting officer, we could add that into the resolution authorizing him to enter into the contract, but
Whatever your office is comfortable with.
But there's no, I don't see any legal issue with it.
Great. Mike, any questions?
No questions.
Okay. Michelle, good? Everybody else good? Yep. All right. How about a motion, Mike?
Motion?
I will second it. Any further discussion? And I will just be clear, the motion is both to approve the Syracuse Housing Strategy Implementation Urban Renewal Plan and to authorize certain financial assistance to owners of residential properties in accordance with the plan and authorizing execution and delivery of a contract with the city of Syracuse in connection with the plan. Without any further questions, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay, is there anything else to come before the board?
I have nothing further.
All right, motion to adjourn?
Motion?
Second, all in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody. What is it, Robert's Rules of Order?
Now it's just my face up there. Gotta get that off of there. Okay.